Book Talk is back with some BS. Guys, I was actually beginning to think that I wouldn't have anything to speak to you guys about in terms of drama. And you know what? That actually made me happy because, yes, we're getting back to just reviewing books and freaking out. Yeah, didn't last long, did it? And on the heels of a very chaotic Black History Month, this was not what I wanted to see. But here we are. So let's get into it. Hello. To those of you who are new to the channel, hi, my name is Shelly, and I really just love books. I do not flock to drama, but it just seems that the drama does not want to disappear, especially where book talk is concerned. And as book talk is where I spend most of my time, socializing with the book world, then I just can't avoid it. Let me explain to you what has happened, and let me just give a few of my thoughts. I am aiming for this video to be quite short because I only have a few thoughts around this entire topic, and I hope that it doesn't spiral any longer. But we never know, especially with me, because I can talk up a storm. But basically, there is this lovely author. Her name is Natasha Bishop. I personally have not read her books because she mainly writes romance books, but I have heard nothing but just amazing things, not even just about her writing, but about her personality and character. And she wrote a book that basically kind of blew. I think like everyone was reading it and everyone was saying this is the read of the year for them. And as someone who supports indie authors and supports authors of color, like nothing made me happier than to see a Black author excel. Like, yay you. And you just think, oh, okay, we're gonna have fun, right? But it seems that there has been a bit of drama concerning not her, but two other Black women who have read her books. Let me break it down for you. Two Black book talkers who share a page, and I've always wanted to do that. I think it's really, really cute. They share a page. They reviewed that book on Book Talk, which is normal. That's what we have Book Talk to do, to just share our views on books that we've read. So they've read the book and they didn't like the book. And they gave her a bad review. And we're going to come back to that, but let me just tell the full story. They gave her a bad review, and you would think that that'd be the end of it. But no, they did another video and another, and I think it was about 4 videos or something along those lines where they basically just kept bashing the book, and it got to the point where it seemed like you were just trying to put an author down, and that's where the trouble arose. Because Natasha Bishop has some fans, and they came to her defense. Now, when I first saw this story, I was so confused because this is a reader space. Book Talk is a reader space, and this is not just Book Talk, it's Black Book Talk, where it's a reader space, especially for those who want to read books by Black authors or someone who is Black and wants to read just more books. And so I was kind of confused because, and I believe you guys have heard me say this, a reader space is a safe space for us to come and to find books and to share opinions about books that we don't just love, but we also don't like as well. And it's always been a safe space to share your honest opinions. That's what Book Talk is for, And I have said this, that when you are doing a bad review, you don't tag the author. There is such a thing as be kind. We are trying to be lovely. You can have your honest review, but don't tag the author because we don't want to spit in the author's face that we don't like their books, and that's fair. And so because these girls were the initial video that I saw, I'm just like, oh, these girls just gave their honest review. I didn't get the reaction because I'm just like, they're giving their honest review just because, yes, she's a beloved author by so many people. That does not mean that her book is going to resonate with everyone. I've said this before. There are several books that everyone loves that I will side eye like it's nobody's business. But that's because what I like is not what someone else is going to like. We have different tastes for different people. So initially, I felt like TikTok or Book Talk or Black Book Talk, to be more specific, was in the wrong. I felt like they were bullying them. And I'm just like, are we bullies, guys? Or are we making this into a space where we bully people? I'm like, what's going on? And then I heard about, the extra. As in, they were doing extra. They didn't just leave it at, oh, let's give a review of a book I didn't like. It was another video and another video, almost as if they want to make it clear that this book sucks and they want to put this author in her place type of behavior. And this is where it got complicated, because what is that behavior? And the fact that this was also happening in Black History Month didn't help them. Not to say that in Black History Month, Black people are exempt from, honest reviews, but timing is very important in this world. We all know this. We all know. For example, Kay Corain did her interview in Black History Month and tried to say that, though she did racist things, she's not racist, and really just trying to bring the attention to her without taking any accountability, in Black History Month. Once again, timing was bad. She could have done it in June, But that's a story for another day, and I actually made a video, so you can check that out. But outside of that, it was the repetitive reminders that they don't like this book. And the videos were very, very harsh. Like, there was one video where it's really just like one of the ladies booed. Like, it was a bit like, it was distasteful and it was harmful, and it just hurt to see, especially because me and these girls are friends on BookTok. So, like, I've never actually interacted with them or spoken with them, but we follow each other in that sense. And I've always seen their videos, pop up every now and then, and I'm just like, these ladies look lovely, but I've never actually directly interacted with them. And so when this, whole debacle broke out, I was just like, what's going on? And then it's the repetitive actions that, it seems like there is a pattern here that is developing. And it now seems like, no, BookTok wasn't bullying you guys for a poor review. It seems that you were bullying Natasha, and then BookTok came to her rescue. And then it became even more kind of complicated, because now people, obviously, when someone has called you out, research is done. We live in a place where people are hunting down receipts. And when people went to their page, it seemed as though they rarely ever gave Black books good reviews. And so it kind of seemed like, okay, there's a pattern of you not endorsing or not, actually ever supporting Black authors. And that, that is something to be discussed, or, actually looked into a bit more, because obviously they came to their own defense and said, no, we read a diverse range of books, and, we're always honest. And yes, we have liked Black books, but sometimes we've also not liked them. And once again, reviewer space. BookTok is a reviewer space. Be honest with your reviews. But it more so seemed like they were very much kind of going ham on Natasha for reasons that we do not know. Now, this is another issue I took with their review, and two, their behavior after the initial review. These ladies mainly read and review fantasy. As a fantasy reader, yeah, I gotta say, y'all, I've made it very clear on YouTube, on TikTok, and when I used to use Instagram as much, I would make it very clear that I don't read much romances. Before, like ages before, I didn't read romance at all. But now I read more romance. I read romantasy, and I read just like romance on its own. Obviously, if I'm inclined to do so, if I get a good recommendation, I will read it. And a lot of times I've enjoyed the romance. Like, if it's a good written book, I enjoy it. Like, nothing's gonna stop me. But it's not my primary genre. And so being a fantasy reader, coming into romance space and critiquing a romance for certain aspects and certain tropes that you're not used to seeing because you are more accustomed to reading fantasy, your review kind of loses its kind of merit. That's not to say your review is invalid, but people read a specific genre for specific aspects of that genre, for specific tropes that they are expected to find in that genre. And they know that they like that, so they go there. When I read fantasy, I want all of the ridiculousness. I want all of the insane plots. And I know I'm going to find that people read romance and they don't understand, why are you guys loving this book with aliens and werewolves and fae? But we just do. You know, why do you like time travel when you're reading science fiction? We just do. They won't get it because that's not their area, you know? And so if they were to read a fantasy or fiction book, they would probably, you know, rate it 2 stars just because it's not their type of book. So coming from a different genre and then reading a new book and then not liking it, immediately your review probably won't hold as much merit. But then in that sense, the book talkers and the other people watching her video wouldn't actually take beef. They're just like, oh, they don't even read books like this that often. We really wouldn't take, you know, we wouldn't take that much offense. But once again, it's the repeated reminder that this book to us sucked. And there was another phrase in the initial video that I think this is where it threw a lot of people off, and a lot of people saw an agenda or really just saw a negative pattern in the reviews. In one of the videos, they said that it was unrealistic. I believe the word is that they used, and already there, I'm just like, you've made an error. You've made an error. And this is the reason why. For a lot of, you know, the last few years, as I've been engaging in, you know, the book sphere, and as I've been encouraging people to read diverse books, and it's not just me, a lot of people who have been doing the same, or people who are from diverse backgrounds, who are interacting, or who are publishing, or who are just in the book world, will notice an excuse come up with people refusing to read diversely or support diverse authors in diverse spaces. I can't relate, so I don't read, you know? And they see certain things in Black books that they can't relate to. They're just like, oh, I can't relate, you know? A Black book is always so focused on trauma, and, you know, the Black experience is so filled with trauma. First of all, these are the same people who have read Red Queen and all the books with literal war, genocide, and all the chaos that you can imagine, that have taken, you know, cues from the real world and placed it into a book world that they're now saying they can't relate to it. So immediately you see the bias and even the underlying racism that some people themselves don't have recognition of. But it's this phrasing that is always used, you know, that I can't relate to it. And then you have the unrealistic aspect, where a book that doesn't center, you know, trauma, or that has Black love like highlighted, and that has Black people doing well and, you know, just not in a struggle seems unrealistic to some. So calling a book where a Black woman is treated well and, you know, shown that she is worth a lot, and, you know, she is not going through struggle love, and, you know, you calling that book unrealistic, it don't sit right with me. Like I said, I haven't read the book, but I know the tropes of the book, I know the premise of the book. Like I said, I just don't read romance that much, but I know about the book. And calling a book, you know, where a woman isn't in struggle love unrealistic, once again, it kind of gives a certain mentality that doesn't seem the best. The fact that when a woman of color is not going through struggle love, is not going through trauma, is not hurting or not being abused, or, you know, being, you know, valued for all that she is, and, you know, being shown her worth, calling that unrealistic, well, it might be unrealistic, you know, to them. Who knows their experiences and whatnot. It might be unrealistic, but I mean, as fantasy readers, once again, we are reading books about dragons and fae. The unrealistic word, it might just have been a poor word choice of theirs, but it wasn't the best word choice. So I definitely took issue with that. Now that I've made like just that small point, because it could have just been a word choice for them. I recognize that, and it honestly might just be what they're used to. But it's really, when you say unrealistic, yes, it can be unrealistic, but a lot of things that we read are unrealistic. Just because it's unrealistic doesn't make it a bad book. I mean, everything that we read is unrealistic. It's fiction. It's fiction. And a lot of times when writers write, they write from experience, or they write what their hopes are. So if it's unrealistic, it's a, it can be a hopeful book. This is not what I'm used to seeing, but this is what I want to see. And just because it has that hopeful vibe in it, or that hopeful outlook in it, does not make it, a bad book. Chaotic. That being said, I want to bring up this question because with all of this going on, they took down the videos. And then I saw one video, there's just one of them in that video, where she spoke about obviously the backlash. She's taking the videos down, and then she was explaining her side of the story, and she was defending against some of the arguments that people have made. The fact that people are saying that they never rate black books, and or never give good ratings to black books and stuff like that. And she's shown, and she's just like, actually, no. Maybe in the last few videos you guys have seen negative ratings, but we review diverse books, and it's just a diverse rating. And I saw that video. I haven't seen anything after that, but that's not what I want to speak on. What I am questioning is BookTok, or specifically Black BookTok's response to the entire situation. I kid you not, there was just one day where I got on BookTok, and the videos were blowing up my feed, and I didn't have any context. And so obviously I went to look for it, but then I just saw what seemed like an attack. It seemed like bashing. And at first, I was obviously, like I told you guys, at first, I thought BookTok was bullying, and then I got the whole situation. But what I want is to know, is BookTok bullying? Because there were some videos where they really just they just explain what the wrongs were in that video, and they really just kind of explain what should happen after this, and really kind of just like holding them accountable. But majority of the videos were very, very just bashing, no holding accountable, and no saying this is where you went wrong and this is where you need to correct it. It was just, you're terrible, you're terrible, you're terrible, you're terrible, you're terrible. Very, very bashing. And like I said, I followed these girls and their page for a while, even though we haven't directly interacted. But, and you guys remember what I said, I don't like cancel culture. I think it's trash. And it seemed like, we were following this pattern of cancel culture, bashing until they eventually delete their page. They haven't, and I don't want them to. What I do want genuinely is for them to just acknowledge, yes, that this, this behavior did not come off how we intended it to, because their behavior for Natasha seemed like it was very bully. Very bully. That one we can't excuse. Apologize and commit to doing better. An honest review is an honest review, but there is no need for consistent bashing and what seems to be bullying. And that's it. They definitely, from the video I saw, took more of a defensive stance, and so I can understand there where BookTok, where Black BookTok specifically, would have now taken offense to that and gone after them a bit more. But I think in situations like these, we have a very reactive way of moving, and I think that's very, very dangerous, especially in a space where we just want to enjoy books, and we just want to support each other, and we want to support just people who are here to have fun, and who are here to make a career. We want it to be a supportive space, which is what BookTok initially was. And so I think a lot of times, especially in this situation, which even on BookTok, I haven't spoke out on it. I'm just like, nope. I definitely could have made a lot of fun, and da-da-da. But I think we definitely need to get to a space where we are less reactive and more actually looking to correct and looking to change and looking to create a better space. I think what's going to happen now is that these girls are going to be made pariahs in Black BookTok space, and we're going to keep pushing until someone else slips up. And I don't think that should happen. Hold them accountable, yes, but do it in a way that is still being kind to them. yes, their behavior would not have been seen as being kind to Natasha, but just because they were not kind does not mean we have to now reciprocate in the same manner. Hold them accountable in a kind way. If, as we said before, if when people are being held accountable, they do not want to change, they do not want to take in the feedback, that's different, because at that point it seems like you don't want to change, and at that point we have every right to say nah nah nah, like be gone. But I think the initial reaction for most people was just attack and be gone. No, let's talk and see what you're going to do before we tell you to be gone. So this entire situation, I'm really hoping that we can really kind of move from it. I'm hoping that they also learn, and I'm hoping that they genuinely, after some time, come and say, we've recognized, we've acknowledged, and we're committed to change, and genuinely apologize to Natasha. Not for their opinions. Their opinions are their own. Their opinions are valid, but for how they expressed it and how they continue to act on it from that point of the first review. But genuinely, like I said before, I don't believe in cancel culture, and I've spoken about TikTok and BookTok and how it's becoming a bit toxic, and I don't want it to be this toxic space. Like, I do love BookTok. I love what I've gained from BookTok. I love the experiences I have on BookTok, and people like me love it as well. And we don't want it to become this toxic space. We want it to be a safe space. Safe space includes correction. It includes accountability, but it includes these things in a way that you're not afraid to get corrected. You're not afraid to be held accountable, because you know that once you are corrected, you can still remain in that space and not feel as though people, hate you or are going to attack you. And so I don't know what is the future for these ladies. I don't know what's the future for for them and their page, but I do hope that, we can move away from the reactive nature of handling situations and slip ups. And I honestly hope the best for them, like I said. And for Natasha as well, it doesn't seem like this has affected her too negatively, because like I said, like, people love her books, and she's independently published as well, so that's really amazing, like how well she's done as an independent author. I love this for her. I hope that she isn't like watching all the videos and feeling any type of way. That has nothing to do with you, babes. Like, I honestly hope you don't let this bring you down, and I hope she didn't really kind of see all the the videos beforehand. If she did, at least now she can at least see that BookTok has her back. Like I said, I haven't read any of her books, but I've heard great things, and I just wish great things for her. And yeah, let's hope for a better BookTok. Like I said, guys, it can be a great space as long as you allow it to be. But those are my few thoughts on this entire situation. I wish everyone the best in this entire situation. And until next time, we shall see. But guys, yeah, I hope you've been keeping like just calm and enjoying your reading this year and staying off the drama, because the drama will continue to drama, but we are going to keep a level head and act well. Yeah. So until next time, guys, I'll see you soon. Be sure to like, comment, share, and of course, if you haven't already, subscribe. And until next time, bye.